also got lots of small machines as well, so we've got a lot of flexibility as to how we can manage some of those issues in Tasmania. And it's sort of funny because for Hydro Tasmania, it's in our best interest to solve those problems. We don't need a market construct to help us solve those problems, but the broader market's not going to be able to rely on that to solve those problems in the future. We're going to have to come up with a way to work out what services do we need and how do we reward them.
You have spoken about how this is to be financed. Originally all of our power stations were built with taxpayers' money, they got privatised, now they're wearing out. Hydro was built with taxpayers' money. How are these links going to be funded? $12.5 billion, can I build a link and get a return? How does that work?
It's a good question. We'll sort of separate the generation assets from the transmission assets, because I think the generation assets is that in terms of pumped hydro and storage, there'll be market mechanisms that'll pay for those sorts of investments, just like generation does now when you build a wind farm or a solar farm. The interconnection question is a really good one. The current market constructs aren't really designed for this sort of strategic interconnector investment. There's a lot of challenges with trying to apply the current regulatory test and the way it's done now. Not just to Marinus Link, but to Hume Link and Careen Link. And I think you guys have had an experience as well trying to get the next link up here as well. And that's only going to get more complicated because the whole point of putting more interconnectors in is to share the resources and to share the value. So how you attribute the value to the next interconnector not only makes it more complicated for the next interconnector, but it also affects all the other interconnectors as well, because all of a sudden, one of the TasNetWest guys that I work with talks about tidal flow. So he sees a world in the future with all these interconnectors in the next 10 or 15 years where you'll get these, during the day when it's sunny, you'll get this massive rush of energy from north to south down into Victoria and Tasmania because all the strong resources are either in South Australia or up in the north. And then when the sun goes down, and you've got these big storages that are in the south as well, and these wind resources, and then when those solar resources die off, you'll have what they call a massive rush north, and then you'll just see all this energy rush back up the other way. You're going to need a lot of interconnectors for that to occur, and how do you actually work out who gets the benefit from that interconnection? From a systems perspective, it's the most sensible thing to do, but you've somehow got to work out how those investments get paid for. Once you work that question out, I don't think you're going to have a problem finding where the money's going to come from. But the fundamental question, and it is the fundamental question for Marinus Link as well, is that at the end of the day, who's actually going to pay for this investment? You can prove that the market's going to be better off, and it makes sense to make the investment, but that doesn't gel with the way we've considered these sorts of investments in the past. And I think that's a really important question that the market is asking itself right now, because you've got three very big links through Hume Link, Careen Link and Marinus Link that are all being discussed that will be needed some stage from the mid-2020s onwards. They are very expensive links, and I'm pretty comfortable that they will show that the investment in those links will be for the benefit of the whole market. Then the question is, well, actually, how do we actually get them built?
I don't think you're going to have an issue with money coming after it. I think you've got an issue with income stream.
Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yep. What's the problem with an income stream? If I want to come to the South Australian government and say, look, I've got a couple of investors, they've got the $1.5 billion, why would we not go forward?
Yeah, well, you got to work out where you get your revenues from. That's right. Yeah, I mean,
we'll rent it to.
Sorry.
We'll rent it on a per megawatt basis. We'll just track what price per each way and charge them a toll.
So what's the lifetime of an interconnector?
40. I think it's 40 years. Up to 40 years. It's a long-lived asset. Yeah.
Because there's money everywhere, right? The world is awash with money. They keep printing more of it. It's looking for a place to get a return.
It's actually debt, not money, but that's
Thank you very much, Chris.